Good morning, everyone, and Happy New Year to you again. And I appreciate you can come and join this program today. Last time, we discussed the concept of generosity, the paramita of generosity. Today, we are going to discuss another paramita, that is the paramita of precepts. Before we go to this area, I would like to mention that about 2,000 years ago, Venerable Nagarjuna in India, he was a great teacher. He mentioned this to us. He said, in Buddhism, actually there are two kinds of disciples of Buddha. One we call it Hinayana, another kind is Mahayana. Hinayana simply means this practitioner wants to liberate himself to achieve enlightenment by himself. Okay? He wants to do everything that to support him, help him to liberate from samsara world, which is good. Actually, it's good. But somehow he concentrates on himself only. So we call this practitioner Hinayana. That means small vehicle. He's riding bicycle to go to another place. Okay? And another practitioner who is Mahayana. Mahayana means a great vehicle. I'm the driver. I'm not riding bicycle myself. Actually, I wanted to drive a bus. On this bus, I can carry 20, 30, 40 people at the same time to go to another shore to achieve enlightenment. So paramita simply means perfection, to perfect the journey, to complete the journey, go to another shore from this shore. So today I wanted to remind you that for practitioner who wants to be Hinayana, it's very simple. He can emphasize on three studies or three principles. This person just simply study precepts. We call this sila. And he simply practices meditation. We call this samadhi. He simply practices prajna. We call this wisdom. As long as this individual can study precepts, concentration, and also wisdom, he's going to achieve the goal. That will be enough. But somehow when we call Mahayana practitioner, we give this practitioner a special name. We call this practitioner Bodhisattva. Bodhisattva. Bodhisattva means a person, a practitioner who has great compassion, loving kindness toward others. He wants to support and help others, just like Guanyin Bodhisattva. Have you ever think why this statue of Guanyin, there are 48 arms around him? Why we have this kind of design? Actually, those arms just simply signifies the great compassion, loving kindness of this Bodhisattva. He wants to reach out to all living beings at the same time. So this is the meaning of it. It doesn't mean the Bodhisattva actually has 48 arms. It's not necessary. Okay? But somehow we have this statue to remind us we wanted to help others, as many as possible at the same time. Okay? So we call this Bodhisattva. Yeah. This is very, very popular in Chinese Buddhism. And when I mention paramitas, can you still remember what are those 6 paramitas? A while ago, for Hinayana practitioner, they simply practice 3 principles, precepts, and concentration, meditation, and wisdom, that will be enough. But for Bodhisattva practitioner, they have to practice 6 paramitas, 6 perfections. Okay. The first one is generosity. Don't be stingy. Don't be selfish. You have to be kind, to support others, share things with others, be generous. Generosity. Okay. The second one is the paramita of precepts. The third one is the paramita of patience. Be patient in order to continue. Okay. And also the paramita of diligence. Continually to do something we ought to do. The paramita of meditation, concentration. The last one is the paramita of wisdom. If you check those arms carefully, you are going to see there are eyes in palms. So that is a way to signify that when you wanted to help others, you always have to be wise, be skillful, use your wisdom, be able to do something good, not just out of compassion or kindness and without any understanding. Sometimes it may be wrong. So each palm, there is one eye in it. So it's a symbol to remind us. We have to remember wisdom, be wise. Okay, today I wanted to share this information, share this kind of understanding with you. Do you know when Buddha established precepts in ancient India? Sometimes people say that, oh, right after Buddha achieved enlightenment, then he write down all precepts. Oh, monks and nuns, you have to follow this. Or lay Buddhists, you have to follow this. Actually, it was not the case. After Buddha achieved enlightenment, there were so many followers, monks and nuns, not nuns yet, monks and also lay Buddhists. They follow the Buddha. Especially monks always stay with Buddha. According to the monastic records, for the first 6 years, there were no precepts necessary. If everyone followed the rule, everyone acts just perfect, it's not necessary to have any law, any rules for this group. So according to the monastic records, Vijnana, if you studied for the first few years, 6 years, no precepts necessary in the monastic life. Until some disciples, they did something inappropriately. So in Buddhism, Buddha slowly established precepts one by one, one by one. I wanted to ask you, there are 5 precepts for lay Buddhists. Do you know why in Buddhism Buddha established this no-killing precepts? What was the reason for that? Judy, do you know the reason for this? Actually, there were a story in ancient history. Right after Buddha teaching the Dharma around the northeast India, there were many monks follow the Buddha. At the time, one practice is very popular. That means contemplate on your own body and try to understand this body is not permanent. Also, this body is not pure. Impurity of this body. This is a way to detach from self-attachment, especially your physical body attachment. Actually, the reason was trying to teach disciples how to detach from this body, okay, in order to be free from the attachment. But somehow, some monks, they contemplate on their own body for a long, long time. Very, very and profound contemplation. They try to understand, the body phenomena. Some monks slowly to dislike their own physical body. Some monks, they feel having a body is a burden. It's better to, without having a body. Having a body is a burden. So finally, some monks, they try to kill themselves. They try to commit suicide just because they contemplate on this kind of a method. Then they dislike their own body. Some monks, they couldn't kill themselves. Then they go to a butcher. Okay, you help me to kill myself, then you are going to have merits because you help me to liberate from this attachment, this body. Something like this happening for some time. One day, Venerable Ananda finally report this instance to the Buddha. Buddha, there were some monks, they commit suicide. So please to collect this kind of conduct. So Buddha established the first precepts of no killing. And no killing means no, do not kill yourself. Also, at the same time, respect others' life. You should not kill others. That was the reason. And there are a lot of stories. And also one story is very interesting. A monk wanted to build a hut, a small hut for himself, in order to meditate in the forest. One day he went to a government of, warehouse. And took some lumbers, some building materials. And some of the guards, they saw this monk taking some lumbers from this warehouse. So they went to the monk. Why you are taking the lumbers from this warehouse? This is a public material. The monk said, the king says this before Buddha. As long as I live, I wanted to do offering to Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. I'm a part of Sangha. So I should take whatever I can take. Finally, the king reported this instance to Buddha. Buddha said, no, even somebody told you that he wants to do offerings as long as he lives, but you still have to ask his permission in order to use his belonging. You cannot take others' belonging without any permission. Okay. So this is the second precept, no stealing, based on this kind of story. There are some stories, follow if you read the Vijnana records. Okay. So there are a lot of reasons for Buddha slowly establish precepts and in the history. And today, for lay Buddhists, we have 5 precepts, basically, we have to understand. But for monks, there are more, 250 precepts. Okay. And later I'm going to let you know that we do face certain kind of jeopardy in today's world. And perhaps we have to find a way how to adjust some of the precepts. Okay. Why we need precepts? Why we need precepts? Precepts is a way to build up good attitude, good action, good habits. You don't want to say that I'm a good person, I'm very generous, I have a good intention, without knowing what kind of words you are saying, what kind of attitude you are actually showing, what kind of conduct you are doing every day with others. I think the first year after we built this temple, in 1990, we celebrate the first Lunar New Year at the temple. I remember that year we had about 1,500 people came to the temple. It was full. And people come to the temple. Actually, they had good intention. They wanted to be here as a volunteer to serve others. They wanted to be here to listen to the Dharma, to participate programs. They wanted to be here meeting others and enhance friendship with others. So there are good intentions to come to Jade Buddha Temple. But somehow, a few individuals, 1 or 2 individuals, gave me certain kind of trouble during the celebration. One person parked his car or her car on one of our neighbor's driveway. He or she parked the car on somebody's driveway. The neighbor was so mad. And they called the police. Another visitor, parked his car or her car in front of the stop sign. It's not allowed. So that celebration, we were happy, but at the same time, I have some headaches. Neighbors, they were not satisfied with a certain kind of conduct from our members or from our visitors. So in this kind of situation, we are going to understand that even we're doing something with good intention, but we still have to be aware of some rules, some traffic laws. We have to obey those laws in order to protect yourself, not being, charged by, police with tickets, or not to make neighbors angry. So precepts is so important. After that year, I asked a member of this English Dharma study group. She's the wife of Home Association's president's wife. And I asked her to say sorry, to apologize to the neighborhood. Okay. And also, I asked the temple, every year, whenever we have any big events, we wanted to invite policemen to come to the temple, take care of the traffic, and I'll take care of the place. So after that, we don't have any trouble. So there are still something we have to, educate people. Every time when I talk to, members, I wanted to remind everyone, do not park your car on your neighbor's driveway. That is the rule, just like a precepts. In order to protect yourself, also protect others. So having precepts actually is a way to build good action, good attitude, good habits. When I mention habits, please remember, when you are still healthy, if you are strong, you can easily adjust yourself, manage yourself. But when you are very ill, when your physical condition is very weak, most of the time we just simply follow our habits. During the year of 2013, I was very ill. At the time, I discovered that I couldn't really use any energy to do anything more than my habits. Sometimes it's difficult for you to manage yourself, but somehow I discover I continue to follow my habits, the way I think, the way I react with people, the way I deal with my physical changes. I just simply follow my habits. If we have good habits, positive habits, you are on safe side. How about we are on the wrong side with a lot of negative reaction, negative habits? Then we're having another trouble, because those negative habits is going to create more problems in this kind of time. So it's very important to build good habits. The way we talk, the way we think, the way we do things, the way we react with others. And we have to have good habits. When we get older, when we are in a very serious illness, when we cannot really manage ourselves, your habits is going to take care of yourself. Precept is going to support this, help us to build up good action, good attitude. Okay, to protect yourself, take care of yourself. Okay, let's move to another area. Do you know, when Buddha established those precepts, there are a few principles that we can understand. Without those conditions, sometimes we don't know how Buddha set up those precepts in the monastic life or for lay Buddhists. Yeah, you don't want it to say, oh, today I wanted to do this in my way, this way. Emotionally, based on one individual's thinking, then set up these precepts. It's not going to last long. Actually, there are some kind of conditions for the basic principles in order to establish good, positive, and also beneficial precepts. One principle is the principle of to purify ourselves. That means when we follow these precepts, we're going to eradicate our anger, hatred, or greed, or ignorance. So that is the purpose for us to have precepts. When we have a precepts, you don't want it to increase your anger. You don't want it to increase your greed. You don't want it to increase your ignorance, stupidity. So this is one important principle. The second one is to respect the local belief, to respect local belief. In India, actually it's a big country. In certain country, certain area, they have local beliefs in certain way. You cannot change this belief right away. Sometimes in order for monks to stay in this village, to stay in this nation, country, it's better to respect the local belief. Do you know there's one precept for monk in ancient time? Monks should not cut trees. Do you know these precepts? No, if you are not a monk, a nun, you are not going to notice this. There's a precept. Monks should not cut any tree. Do you know why Buddha established this precept? Because monks went to a place. One monk trying to build a meditation hut. They went to forest and cut down some tree. Then they disturbed local people. They made local people very unsatisfied, also very afraid of. Do you know what was the reason? Local people believe spirits, a lot of spirits, they live in the tree. A lot of spirits, they don't have houses, but they stay in the trees. Trees are houses for those spirits. So they feel for ordinary people to cut down trees, maybe it's some necessary. But for monks, you should, out of kindness, you should not cut down any tree. Because when you do this, you are not kind enough to those spirits. You are destroying the houses of spirits. Because of this, so Buddha said let's respect the local belief. Monks don't cut down any trees. When you wanted to have lumber, maybe ask lay people to supply those materials to you. So there are a lot of interesting stories for us to understand. Okay, and also, do you know that some precepts, basically based on the Indian local culture. Jerry, when we say local culture means what?
It's the way of life.
The way of life. Oh, the way of life. Okay. Perhaps let's use this concept. The way of life, lifestyle. In ancient India, if you are a monk, if you are a teacher of others, you live in a mountain or in a separate area, you practice your religion, okay, profoundly and also diligently, okay. They consider you are in certain level, okay. You are in a high level of the society. As long as you are a monk, you are a teacher, you study certain religion. It's not just for Buddhist monks, also for other religious monks. Then you should, beg food. You should go out and beg food. You don't cook for yourself. And also, you should only have 2 meals a day. One in the morning, one at noon. No solid food after noon. After noontime, you should not eat any solid food, just drinking water or any maybe other drinks, that's okay, but no solid food. For the first few years in Buddhism, Shakyamuni Buddha did not require monks, nuns to follow this kind of a practice. Still allow monks, nuns to have evening meal. Then there, a lot of people started to criticize monks. You are not doing the right practice. Being a monk, you should just eat 2 meals a day, because there were so many criticisms happening around India. So finally, Buddha said, let's follow this kind of a culture, this tradition. And also there was an instance happened. One evening, a monk who was feeling very hungry. During the meditation, he said, "Oh, I'm hungry. I should go out and beg some food, and to eat." So it was dark, but he still, took his arm and go out and beg food from some houses. He stood in front of one house. The lady of the house opened the door, tried to see who's there, what he wants. When she opened the door, because it was dark, also this monk's skin was very dark. The lady couldn't see this monk clearly. She saw a big image, which is very dark, standing in front of her. Suddenly, she was scared. She was in shock. Unfortunately, she was pregnant at the time for a few months. Then she lost the baby because of this story. People report this incident to the Buddha. So Buddha made decision, from today, all monks, nuns, in the monastic lifestyle, we should follow this tradition. Do not eat evening meal, just 2 meals a day. Today in Myanmar, in Thailand, in Sri Lanka, they still follow this tradition. But somehow in China, we couldn't follow this tradition. There's another reasons for that. Okay, but today I think you are going to understand that why Buddha established this precept. Monks, 2 meals a day, not 3 meals. And also in my own experience, if you practice meditation every day, you use less energy. Actually, 2 meals is enough for a lot of meditation practitioners. Okay, that is also another fact. I have a question to ask you. How many categories of the precepts you can remember in Buddhism? 有多少类? How many categories we have for different precepts? The first one is? Oh, no. Those are precepts. I wanted to ask you that there are categories for precepts. Okay, for lay Buddhist precepts. Okay, there are precepts just for lay Buddhists, for you all. Okay, also there are precepts for monks and nuns. There are different categories. Okay, when you are still a lay person, you don't have to follow monastic precepts. You follow lay Buddhist precepts. So there are another kind of precepts we call Bhikkhuni precepts. Also, Saramanira. Saramanira, do you know what is the meaning of it? Saramanira. Saramanira means students who wants to become Bhikkhu or Bhikkhuni as a student, young novice in Buddhism. Boys who are older than 7 years, he can become Saramanira, come to the temple and study with the masters, stay in a monastery as a young monk, a student. But we don't call him Bhikkhu until he reached 18 years old. When you are 18 years old, you are qualified to accept Bhikkhu precepts. Those are for Bhikkhus. Okay? But for Saramanira, only 10 precepts. Okay? And sometimes you wanted to understand this. Also, another category of precepts is Bodhisattva precepts. Precepts for Bodhisattvas. That means the driver of the bus. There are some precepts for this driver. We call this practitioner Bodhisattva. Then there are Bodhisattva precepts. Later, I'm going to mention some of the Bodhisattva precepts to you. Okay. Instead of saying, not doing this, not doing that. But for Bodhisattva precepts, you should do this, you should do that in order to follow those precepts. Okay. And I wanted to also ask you another question. How are you going to make your decision to formally, officially accept 5 precepts? These are 5 precepts. No killing, no stealing, no sexual misconduct, no lying, no intoxication. That means no alcohol or drugs. How are you going to make decision that I'm qualified to accept those 5 precepts? Sometimes people hesitated. After they take refuge in the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, they become a Buddhist officially. But somehow they're afraid of those precepts. They are thinking, sometimes I do see mosquitoes. Maybe I might kill a mosquito. So I'm not qualified, to accept these precepts of no killing. So we have these concerns. Do you know how to qualify it? And Judy, do you have any concepts? If someone asks you, Judy, I wanted to know, am I qualified to accept, 5 precepts officially?
I guess if you have the right intention to keep the precept, to do your best.
Okay. Good intention, okay, to follow all kinds of good conducts, okay. But today I have a certain way to easily let people notify he's qualified or not, okay. I will ask this individual in this way. do you want to kill a person? If he says no, then I said, you are qualified. Okay. Do you want to steal this donation box? We have a donation box. There are some money in it. Do you want to steal some money from this box? No. Then you are qualified. Sometimes, if we study Vienna carefully, when we say no killing, we emphasize on no kill any human being. And sometimes we still wanted to try to protect other creatures, animals, living beings. But we cannot do everything perfectly in daily life. A while ago, if you walk out, we may step on ants, is that right? We may step on ants. So it's difficult for us to completely say, I don't kill any living beings. It's difficult. So in Buddhism, we wanted to simplify this kind of concept. When you take these precepts, no killing, you are thinking, basically, I don't have any will, any intention to kill any human being. Then that's good enough. Then you expand this loving kindness, these precepts, and toward other creatures. Okay. So this is a way perhaps we wanted to understand. Okay. And finally, I wanted to share some special contents of Bodhisattva precepts. Bodhisattva precepts 就是菩萨戒. They celebrate New Year's in the school. Okay. Let's enjoy for a few minutes. They have dancing over there. Okay. Do you know that it's very easy for us to be disturbed by any sounds, which is not related with us. So that's why we wanted to be mindful and we wanted to practice meditation. There are reasons for that. Without mindfulness, without concentration, sometimes any individual can be very easily disturbed by any kind of changes around us. Okay. So slowly, you are going to bring your attention back to the hall, 观音 hall, not going out. And there are some very interesting contents for Bodhisattva precepts. Okay. Today, I wanted to share some precepts with you. To be a Bodhisattva, not just following something we should not do, no killing, no stealing. Actually, we wanted to protect others. Okay? We wanted to share things with others, be generous, not just passively, what do you call it? Passively, not doing this, not doing that. It's just opposite. Not just no killing, actually, you wanted to find a way to protect some human beings in danger. Also, sharing something with needies. Okay. And also, there are a few contents we don't have a lot of opportunities to study. Today, let me share this with you. To be a Bodhisattva, how are we going to fulfill, to perfect the precepts? There are some precepts we have to understand, we have to follow. If you are able to teach the Dharma to others, if you are able to teach the Dharma to others, you can be a teacher. Somebody coming to you, ask you, please teach me the Dharma. Because you are lazy, you don't want to teach, you are breaking precepts. You are able to teach. Somebody asks you to teach him. Today you feel you don't want to teach because you are lazy. And you are breaking the precept. You are not ill. In 2013, I was very ill. Then I told myself, I cannot talk anymore. Let me rest for a while. It's not breaking precepts. Because my illness was in a very difficult condition. Yeah. Justin, do you agree with this? Okay. Being a bodhisattva, you are able to teach others the Dharma. Okay. If you feel you are lazy, you don't want to teach, then you break the precepts. Okay. The second, I think this is requires certain kind of skill and what do you call it? Braveness, 就是勇气. Okay. Courage. Be able, okay, to do something. When someone is doing something wrong, you know this is wrong. This is not right. You should tell this person this is wrong. You should help this person to correct these mistakes. But you don't do anything. You break the Bodhisattva precepts. Do we have this kind of a courage? We have to. And from time to time, I do ask myself. I don't want to say, just because I wanted to be nice with everyone, I don't say this, I don't say that. Even someone is wrong, I don't want to correct this person. No, this is not right. As a bodhisattva, we have to take care of everyone, the society, the harmony of the family, the harmony of the group. Sometimes we have to be brave enough, be able to have the courage to do something somebody afraid of. Okay. Okay, as lay Buddhist bodhisattva, as lay Buddhist bodhisattva, you ignore your parents. You don't want to do anything to support your parents. You are breaking the bodhisattva precepts. Okay. Because, you should go to a place to visit a patient. Someone you know. You should go and visit him or her. Just because you have anger inside you. Maybe you have uncomfortable feeling about this person. Also, you dislike the place. In ancient time, sometimes the patient's place may be smelly. The smell makes you feel you don't want to go. Because of your anger, because of your feeling about the place, you don't go to the patient's place and take care of him and see him. You are breaking the Bodhisattva precepts. So today, when I go to any place, nursing home or hospital, I prepare myself. Even I smell something, I still wanted to maintain my calmness. I don't want to say, okay, I don't like the kind of smell, so I don't go to hospitals or nursing homes. Okay, there's another precept. Within 40 miles. And Barbara, thank you. So good day. I know you have something to do, okay?
Thank you.
I studied these precepts. Maybe not 40 miles. 40 miles is very, very long. Okay. Within 40, what do you call that, kilometers, in China or in India, maybe shorter than mile. Meters? Gongli. Kilometers. Okay. It's a shorter than miles. Yes. Okay. Within 40, not kilometers, because I don't calculate the numbers according to ancient India's measurement. Let's say kilometers today. Within 40 kilometers square area, somebody is teaching the Dharma. Because you are lazy, you don't go and listen. You are breaking the precepts of Bodhisattva within this kind of a distance. Today we have cars, it's easier. Long time ago, you have to walk. Okay, so quite long distance. Long time ago, a lot of Buddhists, a lot of practitioners, they walk so so long to listen to a teacher. Today, it's easier for us. We can drive. Okay, perhaps we should say within 40 square miles. Okay, and also when you are able to support others asking you to help with material or with anything, okay, you don't want to support this individual. You don't do anything. You let this individual helpless. Then you are breaking the Bodhisattva precepts. These are part of precepts of Bodhisattva. And today we discuss the Paramita of precepts. Besides 5 precepts, we have Saramanira precepts, and also Picuni precepts. And also today, I introduce Bodhisattva precepts. Not with every details, but some of the contents I feel we can use, we can learn, and also improve ourselves. Okay, so these are Bodhisattva precepts.